Welcome, everyone, to our third Thursday call. Our last, well, we haven't had many third Thursday calls, but it's our last third Thursday call for 2023. And it's a special day because this is the winter solstice, and we are welcoming winter into our lives as we end this year and look toward a new year. My name's Lane Adams, and I am a wellness advocate in Southern California, and it is cooling here too, but not nearly as cool as the picture you see. But we are, we have to put on a sweatshirt every now and again, and sometimes even a jacket. So we're saying hello to winter. Today's known as the winter solstice. And this really is the shortest day. It's like you can get into what the whole thing is, but the sun is the furthest point in the southern hemisphere, and we have the least amount of light today, and it is already gone. I think it set around 4:46 or something today in San Diego, and it's the longest night of the year as well. And I was thinking as I was preparing for this that our days really are defined by the day and the night, the dark and the light. They're just defined by it in so many ways. And this day is the day where we go from dark, the darkest day, to light. And they call it the crux. And the meaning of crux is a decisive time point or most important point at issue. So this does seem to be a good time to ponder and consider how we're going to enter into the new year when it comes to our healthy habits as well as relationships and all the things. But we'll be talking mostly, of course, about our health and wellness, and that impacts every aspect of our lives. And I was thinking, as we observe nature, we can learn a lot about how to apply, different habits to our lives. And so tonight we're going to talk a little bit about some things that happen in the winter in this season, and some things that people deal with during this time of year, and what oils we have on hand that can support the body and the mind as well. And I was thinking as well, even if you don't really notice that you're struggling with one of these things or have experienced something, don't wait to experience it. Just go ahead and use the oils that would support your body. It's kind of like with eating. You might not, be craving a particular food, but if you know that you haven't had greens in a day, or you haven't eaten, from all the different colors of the rainbow as far as your vegetables or fruits, maybe you should just do it anyway, even if don't wait until you're feeling depleted. And we can think of that with our oils as well. So when we know the oils that are supporting us during particular seasons, we might as well use them and look for ways to use them in our lives. So we're going to talk about that tonight. So most of you use the oils and know how to use the oils and to apply them aromatically, topically, and internally. And what I love about the oils is that it really is that first do no harm concept. I mean, if you put oregano in your eye, it would maybe, well, I don't know if it would do harm, but it sure would hurt. But generally speaking, if you can find ways to use the oils the way they're indicated, you're not going to cause harm to your body. So it's not like just taking a bottle of some pills, whether they're over the counter or prescription, whatever, and just going, well, I'm not sure what this is good for, but I'm going to use it anyway. Like, that's just not a good idea. But with our oils, that's what I love, is they really are not going to cause us harm. So there's very few cases where that would be the case. But the 3 ways to use them during this season, I want you, when we're talking about the different oils tonight, I want you to think of the 3 different ways, aromatically, topically, and internally, and how you could maybe incorporate some of these oils that I'm going to be talking about. Now, a few of them are not to be used internally. And so if that's the case, of course, don't do it. If it's indicated to be used internally, there is a supplement fact box on the label. And it's kind of hard to see, but there's that little square. So if it has that, you can use it internally. If it doesn't, then you're going to use it aromatically and topically only. So aromatically, we know that supports our mind and mood. It also aromatically supports our respiratory system because we're smelling and breathing in and in through our mouth and nose. And that is going to support all of those areas. And through those systems of the body, it will impact really our overall health as well. Then, and so you can diffuse. This time of year, you have so many beautiful things around, like pine cones and pine, and maybe a tree, or just different beautiful decorations. You can put a drop or two of oil on those if they're absorbent, and just like let that be part of your aromatic experience. So that's aromatic. Topically, we can use the oils, in a lotion, in our carrier oils, and we can apply them to our wrists, our pulse points, over our heart, on our temples, or at our brainstem. And so we know those are great ways to use the oils, and the bottom of the feet, never forget that, as well as even the navel is a great place to apply the oils. So that's topically. And then internally, like I said, if it's indicated, you can use the oils in cooking. You can use them in just a little shot glass of water. I love using oils that way. It's so effective and simple. We have those veggie caps. You can buy those empty capsules. They are empty capsules made out of veggie material, apparently, and they don't have vegetables in them. I spoke with someone who thought he bought them thinking they had vegetables in them, and that he could get his vegetables by consuming those veggie caps, which was really funny. So he said, I have 2 bottles of those and they're just empty. And I said, yes, they are. So anyway, but that is a good way to use oils internally if you don't want to do the shot glass. I don't have them in front of me, but you probably know what they are. So those are the 3 ways to use them. I encourage you to look for ways to use the oils. Oh, room sprays, body scrubs, bath salts, so many ways to use the oils. So we're going to talk about some different, just things that happen during this time of year, and different things that support our body during this time of year. So we know that if you look at studies about different kinds of light, yellow and orange lights, and even red lights, normalize our circadian rhythm. That's why we love sitting and staring into a fire. And that's why, back in the day, before we had lights over our head, which is like the sun, at night, the campfires and things like that are lower, and they're more of that orange and yellow light, and they help the body know and signal to the body and the mind that it's time to calm down and get rest. And so the darker and colder days are going to cue us to slow down and settle in a bit. And these are colder winter days, and it's going to encourage us to turn inward and just be still for a season. So it is a great time to get a comfy blanket and sit on the couch or in your favorite chair. If you have a fireplace, great. Or some people like candles. I'm not a huge candle fan these days, but candles are beautiful. Or even our diffusers, with some of those lower lights on the diffusers, they're going to help our body know that it is time to calm down and kind of snuggle in and just reflect and be still. We need to do that during this season. It's our opportunity, kind of like the land, the farmers, the land rests before bursting with so much produce and crops in the spring. So this is time to pause and tap into our heart space. During the season, we do have the candles, the fires in the fireplace, sitting around a fire ring outside. So those dim yellow and orange lights have impact on our circadian rhythm as far as helping just normalize it. They don't alert us and wake us up. They help us kind of normalize it, and they're great options to use at night. Exposure to this kind of light can possibly help increase melatonin production in your body, and especially compared to other cooler colors like blue light. And if you've ever been on the freeway at night when they're working on the roads and you drive past those bright lights on the freeway, it just wakes you up. Like you feel awake all of a sudden, because those are those cool bright lights. Those are different than the yellow and amber orange colored lights. So it's good to remember that. They even have glasses now that you can buy to wear to help create this kind of light. But you can see the light in the fire in the picture. That's kind of the orange yellow light that's going to help normalize that circadian rhythm. That's the rhythm of your body. And that's something that we all need to do, because when we're under stress, a lot of times, our circadian rhythm is off because we're so busy and we don't take the time to settle down and slow down. So these darker days, it gets darker earlier. People don't want to go out, and that might be okay. So it can also help improve your sleep. And it's also linked with the brain's association between natural sunlight and being awake and energized. So being awake and energized, and then the yellow, orange, and amber lights are more calming and help you sleep. So some essential oils that have similar frequencies and energy as the yellow and orange light are the oils listed below. I'm just going to give you some of they resonate with frequencies similar to the yellow and orange light. So everything has a frequency, and these oils, these are just some, it's not all of them, but these are oils that are going to resonate at that similar frequency. So if you want to support the body and being still and resting, these are some to use, even though like we think, well, gosh, lemon is, citrus and it's uplifting. Well, the great thing about the oils is they can do more than one thing, and that's what we love. So don't be afraid to use lemon when you're wanting to calm down and kind of bring your body and mind down. Here's some of the things that these oils will do that relate to just helping your body settle and be still, and kind of prepare for stillness and pondering where you're headed for the new year. So lemon is a decongestant, and it's going to help you breathe better, and at night that's important. It also helps with liver and kidney toxicity. So anything stuck in our body, we want to move it out. We don't want things stuck. So lemon is great for that. You can put it in your tea. You can diffuse your lemon. You can just put a drop in your hand, breathe it in. And since you're not going outside and it's not too bright, you can even rub it on the outsides of your nose, and that's going to help open up those airways. Melissa is another one. This supports healthy blood sugar levels and blood pressure. It's antiviral, and emotionally, it helps overcome darkness and despair. So Melissa is a really good one. There's that Melissa challenge that a lot of people talk about, where you take Melissa, you put a little bit on your thumb and then hold it to the roof of your mouth. And it doesn't taste good. I'm going to be honest, Melissa doesn't really taste great, but it's not that bad, because you're literally just taking the bottle and just tipping it onto your thumb and then holding it up there for about 30 seconds. And if you do that every day, after 30 days, that does help with that low mood. Then there's helichrysum. This one, there's so many things. These oils, I'm not telling you all the things they do. I'm just kind of relating them to the area that we're looking at during this winter season. Helichrysum, again, helps with congestion in the liver and pancreas. So like I said, with the lemon, we don't want things getting stuck or congested or sluggish and slow. So helichrysum, when you're using oils to help with your liver or your pancreas or your kidneys, you can use them topically as well by rubbing over the area outside where I'm doing it backwards, but where your liver is, and in your kidneys over your lower back where your adrenals and kidneys are. So don't ever forget that, but you can use it internally. I never think about helichrysum internally, but you can use it internally. I don't know why I don't, but I just don't. Ginger is another great one. This is in those yellow and orange and amber lights. It helps with head congestion, cold extremities. So if your hands and feet are cold, you can put a drop of ginger and do a little massage and rub into your feet. That's going to help with cold extremities, get circulation going, warm things up, helps with the joints that might be feeling achy this time of year. It also helps with neurotransmitter deficiency. So if things aren't signaling the way they should in your body with your movement and your thought processes, ginger is a good one for that. It also helps with nervous exhaustion. So that is something that happens this time of year, nervous exhaustion, expectations for the holidays, realizing your year is almost over, and like maybe you had a traumatic year, or maybe you didn't complete things you wanted to complete, so you feel anxious and nervous about it. Maybe you're looking ahead and saying, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next year? So ginger is really good for that. Ginger, you can use so many ways. You put it in your food, you can breathe it in, you can put it in your tea, and like I said, use it topically. Chamomile, Roman chamomile is another one. It helps with lowering stress levels. It helps with normalizing blood pressure, as well as helps with insomnia and bile duct obstruction. That was interesting to me. Roman chamomile helps with bile duct obstruction. So notice all of these oils, almost, I think all of them, help with things that are stuck. They help things start moving that are stuck, but it's a gentle way, in a gentle way. And then last but not least, Roman chamomile you can use internally, as you know, because we have chamomile tea. So you can use Roman chamomile internally as well. And then jasmine. That one is a pricey oil, but we are worth it. You can use it in the roller bottle. We have it in the roller bottle, so it's a little more in the touch line, so it's a little more affordable. But that is a lovely oil, and it's very high frequency as well, similar to like rose, but it's good for hormone imbalance. Low dopamine, that's that feel good. So if you have low dopamine, it's going to help with that. So, because if your dopamine's low, you might be feeling depressed and sad. And it helps if you're feeling emotionally tense or exhausted. Not to mention, jasmine is so good for your skin. So I just like to apply it. I apply it during the day on my face after I wash my face in the morning. I just roll it on my hand, rub my hands together and apply it, and it feels so good. So those are some of the oils that have the similar frequency to the yellow and orange lights that help normalize your circadian rhythm and help you settle in and kind of rest and be still. Not like being sleepy, more like being alert, and aware, but calm and reflective. So then this time of year, it's so fun. We bake and we cook and we diffuse and we have warm drinks that have all these yummy warming and harmonizing spices. So our cooking spices, we have our yellow and orange lights, and now we have our cooking spices. These are things that we enjoy during this year. These warming drinks, soups, and foods during this time of year are really important. And the people that study Ayurveda, which is a way of eating and a way of living, they would say we really shouldn't be putting ice in our drinks right now at this time of year. It's the time of year to add warmth to what you ingest. Now, I'm not going to tell people what to do, but it is something when you're considering like, oh, you know what? It would be good for me to have a warmer tea or whatever right now, or a soup. That would be good instead of a cold. They even say like cold smoothies and cold salads, not the best thing this time of year. Now, we're all going to do it because at least we're getting our greens, right? But at the same time, when you can make a choice to warm something up this time of year, it's a good idea. But one way you can warm things up is by adding warm spices to it. So even if it's not warm, if you add ginger to your smoothie, that's going to be a great thing because it's a warming spice. So these seasonal cooking spices can be warming and uplifting to our mood during this dark time of year. Not only do these essential oils make our atmosphere feel warmer and cozier when we diffuse them, they harmonize and uplift our spirits as we invite in more light. So that's the purpose of these oils. They are spicy and they bring in light and life. This is really helpful when the days are darker in winter, and we'll be talking later about how some people have struggled with that. So let's just quickly talk about cinnamon. Cinnamon is warming, as you know, and we can use it internally. There she is. Hi, Jenny. And we can use it for poor circulation, cold extremities, even for any respiratory issues going on that you're struggling with. So cinnamon is such a good one, and it's in our On Guard blend. So actually 3 of these are in our On Guard blend. So that's pretty cool. So that's one of the oils that's warming and harmonizing. Another one is cardamom, and this one is in our Breathe blend, but we're not going to ingest our Breathe blend, but you can ingest cardamom by itself. So this one's great for, if we know it's in breathe, we know it's great for respiratory and congestion. It's great for your stomach as well. Any stomach digestive issues, mental fatigue, and confusion. So cardamom is it's kind of an underused, underappreciated oil, I think. So to think about it as a warming, harmonizing oil that's good for us to use during this winter season, just start looking for ways to incorporate it into your life, whether it's diffusing or I would say even applying topically and then of course internally. Clove is another one. Clove is a favorite oil of mine all year long. But we all know it's a warming oil. It's good with memory loss. It's going to help support if you're struggling with memory loss. Clove is good. And here, listen to this. It helps with circulation. So if you have poor circulation, clove's going to be supportive. Sometimes memory loss is due to having not good enough circulation through the brain. So let's improve our circulation and use our clove regularly. I put a drop in a shot glass of water or even in my water bottle, just one drop, and it's actually kind of nice. And I just kind of get clove all day long. It's great for cold extremities, and but remember, you're going to use it with a carrier oil because it can feel a little hot and stingy to some people. It helps with any tooth pain and cavities, which is funny during this sugar season, right? That the clove is something that comes up for to use during the winter, but also for our oral health. And then ginger. We kind of talked about it a little bit, but it's great for nausea, digestion, so sluggish digestion, poor circulation, cold extremities, and your memory as well, and blood sugar imbalance and nervous exhaustion. And we talked about it a little bit before as well. So again, these are warming and harmonizing cooking spices. There are plenty more warm cooking spices, but these came up kind of when I was doing research on the winter solstice and kind of the whole thing with frequencies and this season. These were like the oils that came up consistently, and we'd be here all night if we went through all of them. All right. The next thing we want to look at, remember at the beginning, we looked at orange and yellow and amber light, which helps us kind of settle and be reflective. We looked at the cooking spices, which are warming and harmonizing to our body and our mind. And then our citrus oils, they're cheerful and uplifting. And you see some of these cross over because our lemon was in the yellow and orange light category. So we have so many choices when it comes to citrus oils, but there's a lot of immune support drinks that have citrus in them that you use the rind, which is where we know our citrus oils come from. And so I'm just going to quickly go through kind of some highlights of these citrus oils so you can target what you want to use on any particular day during this time of year. And I'm challenging everyone, for those of you that jumped on a little bit later, to just look for ways to incorporate some of these oils that show up as being supportive to the body and mind during the winter season, because even we don't want to wait until we need them. We want to use them anyway, because the season is happening and we're taking our cue from nature, and our nature is going into winter. It's today. So we're going to take our cue and use the oils that are going to support our body and mind. So we're looking for ways. So cheerful and uplifting qualities of essential oils bring brightness and energy and joy into your heart and soul and your home. And this is really important during this dark season, because for some people it is a struggle. So we all have each oil, just like each person has different, just slightly different personalities and different energies. And so we're going to talk a little bit about each one. Wild orange, for example, energizes and uplifts the mind and the body, and it encourages spontaneity and lightheartedness. Helps you adapt to change. So as we go into a new year, that's a good thing to think about. And release anxiety. It also helps with letting go of fear and nervousness. So let go of all of that. In fact, things like fear and anger actually lower our vibration. And so we're more apt to get sick when our vibration is, our frequency in our body is lower. So the lower your frequency, you're more apt to get sick. So my daughter is fighting something right now, and she said, I'm so angry. And I said, don't be angry, like, because that's going to lower your vibration and your frequency, and you're not going to be able to get well as quickly. So you're detoxing, you're not sick, you're detoxing something out of your body. And I understand you're frustrated, but let's move on. Don't sit in it. So let's not sit in those things and lower our frequency. Lemon supports the body. We've already talked about lemon a little bit in the warm yellow, in the yellow and orange light category, but it helps if you have low glutathione. Lemon is going to support glutathione levels. It's going to help with, we already talked about congestion, help move that out. It helps with low energy, depression, and liver and kidney cleansing. Lime. This one's really great for respiratory things. When the little kids get that cough that sounds like a seal, lime is a good oil to remember to throw into the mix. It's great for sore throats, cold or flu, anything respiratory, congestion. It's great for your lymph to help move the lymph. So if you're doing gua sha, or even just, there's a lot of videos now on YouTube or on Instagram and maybe other places, how to help your lymph move. And they just show quick things to do, to just massage those areas quickly all the way down. And I was thinking, if you put like lime or something on your fingers and did these massages quickly all the way down, what a great way to support that and breathe it in and all the things. This sounded like an amazing thing to do for exhaustion and depression. Put a drop of lime and a drop of spearmint in your hands. Rub your hands together, breathe them in, a drop of lime and a drop of spearmint, breathe them in, and then rub them on your neck, back of your neck, and over your chest, and just breathe that in. Lime and spearmint. It sounds amazing. And I didn't do it because my lime is in my kitchen. So when I read about it, I wrote it down and thought, I've got to remember that when I finish tonight. Grapefruit is another great one during this time of year. It helps with sugar cravings. It's in our MetaPower blend as well. It helps with lymphatic toxicity. And as we talked about the lymph before, just a minute ago, your lymph doesn't have a pump or a muscle. It doesn't like move by itself. Your lymph moves when we move. So if we don't move, our lymph doesn't move. And it's what moves things out of the body that we don't want. We don't want just sitting there and turning into something bad. So we want our lymph to move and not get toxic and sluggish. So we need to move and support it with things like grapefruit as well. It helps with jet lag, adrenal fatigue, and nervous exhaustion as well. And remember, I was saying you can apply the oils topically over where the adrenals are, on your lower back by the kidneys. These are oils you can take internally, all the good ways. Tangerine is an antioxidant. It's an immune booster and a cell protector. And I remember Dr. Hill telling us back in 2020 that tangerine was really great if we could choose a citrus oil during all the 2020 stuff, which is showing back up here and there in different ways. Tangerine would be the citrus oil of choice for that. So if you want to really target immune support, cell protection, tangerine. Not that the other ones don't, but that one was like at the top of his list. Sadness and irritability. Tangerine is helpful with that. Helps with nervousness, digestive support, overthinking, which can happen during this time of year, and then congestion and poor circulation. We're almost done with the citruses. Bergamot. This one is powerful. It's probably underused as well. It's a little more expensive than some of the other citrus oils. But this oil is amazing. I let my sister-in-law use it, and she didn't know anything about what it was supposed to do, but I just gave it to her because I was like, oh, use this citrus. It's good. And You can breathe it in, you can put it in your water. And she called me and said, I love bergamot. And she struggles with feeling inadequate and feeling worthy. And it's funny because it helps with that, this oil, bergamot. So it helps when you're feeling, it helps you move from inadequate to feeling worthy. So it helps with depression, self-worth issues, and you can apply it over your heart, over your gut. It also is great for helping with agitation and stress, but also this one's just interesting for coughing. If nothing else is working, you're hacking and coughing, try some bergamot. Breathe it in, gargle with it, put it in your water, give it a try. And then green mandarin. Again, this one's lovely. I know Susie loves this oil. And again, it's probably underused as well. It came on late in the game and we just kind of didn't give it its fair attention. This one is great if you're feeling low mood, nervous, if you're feeling agitated, if you have poor circulation, and it helps with lymph. So again, that lymph system needs to be moved, and our oils will help that a lot, but we also have to move our bodies as well. But that whole gua sha, the stone to do on your face and all down your neck, that is so helpful. So that would be a fun thing to look into, maybe doing more with all of that. Simple ways to move the lymph, get the lymph moving. All right. So now we have our pines and herbs during this season, and they connect us to the cycle of life. So during winter kind of creates a connection to the cycle of life because it's kind of like, I don't want to say it is a death, but it's like a death. And then it goes silent for a while and dark and a little bit still. And then there's new life. So the pines and herbs in our oils are going to connect us to the cycle of life. We don't want to stay in hibernation or stay dormant, but there is a purpose for it. And that's why we sit in front of fires and those yellow and amber lights, like I talked about at the beginning. So pine oils are really great. And I just listed a couple here that came up in some of my research, and also some herbs. So I'm just going to touch on the black spruce and the spikenard and the Spanish sage, because those are ones were less common for us. Most of us know about rosemary, lavender, and peppermint. So black spruce is one that is actually this month, it's 10% off all month long. And it is beautiful. It is really a lovely oil. It feels good topically too. It feels so good on the skin. It's great for overstriving, great for adrenal and nervous exhaustion, fatigue. It's great if you're feeling melancholic, which if you're feeling that way during this season, that's very common. We have our expectations and what we want to have happen, and sometimes it doesn't, or we reflect on things that, how things used to be, those types of things. So black spruce is going to support you in all of that. It helps with indecisiveness, traumatic memories, and we mentioned this, I think, last time we talked, over your forehead, on your forehead and over your heart, and then above the kidneys for that adrenal support. Spikenard is not a pine, but spikenard is going to support. That one is such an odd aroma. I used to not like it at all. Like at the beginning, I was like, holy moly. But now I actually really like it. But when I run out, then I forget to order it. So until I do a class like this and I think, oh, I don't have spikenard anymore. I ran out. This one is great for stress and muscle tension. It's grounding, and it's great for meditation, anxiety, and depression. And if you have persistent emotional blocks, spikenard is what you're going to want to use aromatically and topically, and it helps with insomnia. And it is one of the specific ones that helps with insomnia. And putting it on your wrist, if you sleep like this, if you're a side sleeper, putting it on your wrists is really great, because then if you hold your hand like that, you can just smell it, and it's amazing. Put it on your pillow, put a little on a cotton ball and stick it under your pillowcase. Spikenard. And then sage, our Spanish sage. This one's great for cognition and mental performance, if you have a lack of focus or concentration. And this one, if you have low glutathione, Spanish sage is supportive for that. You can put it on the bottom of your feet or over your liver. It helps with nervous exhaustion. And you've noticed a lot of these help with anxiety, nervous exhaustion, fatigue. So, and Spanish sage also supports feeling content. So contentedness. So, our other pines and firs are in our holiday piece. So that is a really good one to use this time of year as well. If you don't have the holiday, this is my little tiny guy, but holiday piece is a really great one. It's got a lot of those oils that are going to connect us to the cycle of life. So in contrast to the high energy and activity of the summer, the winter solstice is about finding and holding on to light amidst darkness. So we can't just like go into this deep, dark place and not hold on to the light. And that's why it's so great to have the tools and say, oh, I'm going to use these oils. These are going to help with this, and tell yourself so that you can, tell yourself that's what it's going to do for you, and your body, your brain will start searching for those things that you're using them for. This is a small, if we hold on to the light, it's like holding on to a small fire that's going to keep us aligned and knowing our purpose through those long, dark days. And today is the shortest day, but the longest night. It also provides solace and invites greater healing and wisdom when we settle into the winter. But some people struggle with what they call SAD, seasonal affective disorder. So I didn't want to do this class on how to support, oils that support you during the winter season without at least addressing this real thing that people experience. Especially wherever you live, if there's not as much sunlight and bright sunny days in the winter, then you can really struggle with it. I know someone that moved to Florida from Illinois, and they just can't even believe they ever lived in Illinois, because they feel so much happier where they are. And it's like the sun, like it's just the light. So I still think we can be happy wherever we live. I don't think we're stuck with not being happy, because we can find light and we can create light in our lives. We just have to maybe be a little more intentional when it's a darker place. So during the winter, we do have to be more intentional, all of us, because there is less light in the day. So if you know someone that struggles with SAD, or if you do, seasonal affective disorder, these are just some oils that are going to be useful to stimulate and awaken. You can see all of those. Rosemary, peppermint, lemon, basil, ginger, tea tree, and cypress. Cypress helps things move and helps things not get stuck. So I love that. Since when someone struggles with SAD, they sometimes withdraw socially and don't have energy and enthusiasm to get up and get out. And I think that happened a lot in 2020 for people anyway. So some people are still stuck in that as well. So when you get isolated, you can become it can lead to even lower mood and despair. And we don't want people to get to that. So if we can stimulate our mind and mood with the oils, that's what we should be doing. So let's make sure that we are connecting with people like you are tonight, and connecting with people in person. So when we're diffusing our oils, it's a great time to use some of these oils that are going to do these things. So you can see these are for stimulating and awakening, building self-worth and confidence. You have all those solid wood oils and a few flowers, but frankincense, cedarwood, sandalwood, all amazing oils. And then the flowers of jasmine, ylang ylang, and neroli. those are great for connecting with others. And then we have the oils down here that connect to light and rebirth. So just kind of, note that these are very important oils to be using this time of year. And I'm going to go through quickly the oils in that lower part. Frankincense is the oil of truth. And we know, so when someone's struggling with SAD, they don't feel like they have worth and they kind of isolate, and that is not true. So the oil of truth is something we want to use, and frankincense invites love and protection, and it helps decrease mind chatter, which can sometimes just bother somebody over and over. They keep hearing the same thing or saying the same thing to themselves over and over. So frankincense is great. We know that our frankincense we can use internally. We can just take a drop and breathe it in. I've been using it on my face at night, just reminding me of all of the amazing benefits of frankincense. And it is our free oil this month if we place a 200 order. So we love our frankincense, and it is one you want to be using regularly. Vetiver is called the oil of centering, and it invites a feeling of being centered. So sometimes people feel off balance because they don't feel like they have any direction. So this is going to help you feel centered and connected, and it's going to help you feel calm and help relax a racing mind. Cedarwood is the oil of community. I love that. That's just a neat thought. I don't ever think of it like that, but because usually we put it on at night and we're not really in community when we're climbing into bed, but it invites.
Can I offer insight on that?
Yes, please
I'm going
do.
to interrupt you. Cedarwood, I had kids bickering at each other. So I put cedarwood in the diffusers, and everyone just kind of stopped and started watching a movie together. And so for the next 24 hours as I ran it, they stopped fighting. So good oil for family gatherings.
I love that. And that's the oil. I mean, it is the oil of community. That's why it's like we think about, oh, cedarwood, put it on your big toe and go to sleep, and then we get stuck in how to use it. And it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's so great. So, and it feels so good. I love cedarwood. I love rubbing oils on the backs of my hands. It just feels good, and I can smell them really well there. And then diffusing it, everyone gets to benefit. So yeah, it says the oil community invites connection, belonging, social bonds, and joy in relationships. So there you go. Good job, Mom. It helps you receive and love and support each other, those that are around you. So it invites connection. So yeah, don't want to forget those. We know lavender is the oil of communication. It invites open communication, and it's also helps relax any tension and promote peaceful sleep and just reducing anxious feelings. So that's a good one. Helichrysum, it's the oil for pain, and it invites healing, courage, hope, and perseverance. So I would think a Helichrysum roller bottle, plus it's yellow and bright, and sometimes they call that our gold of the gold, frankincense, and myrrh, Helichrysum. So that would be a beautiful gift for someone who does struggle with low mood this time of the year, to have that roller. Just roll Helichrysum on, so it is skilled. It says Helichrysum is skilled at dealing with all kinds of pain. So that's physical, emotional, spiritual. Its powerful relationship with the sun's light is regenerating in nature. So invite more healing and courage and perseverance into your life with Helichrysum. Myrrh is the oil of Mother Earth, and it invites a feeling of safety and goodness, trusting in the goodness of life. And that's so important as we end a year and look to a new year, and it gives you hope. So don't forget to use these oils. And then Siberian fir the furs are wonderful during this season and all winter long. And the Siberian fir increases positive energy, and it's affirming and empowering, which is a great way to think about being in the winter. I mean, here we are in this still place, and we're heading into, okay, make your affirmations and all the things, intentions for the new year, and all your resolutions and goals. And that's a lot of activity. So taking the time to be affirmed and to reflect is really important. So if someone struggles with SAD, there are so many ways to help them and help them get out of it. So, and if that's you, then now you know some of the ways. But if you need help, talk to someone about it, or, just start connecting with people, or say, let's have coffee or let's have tea. Get together. All right. So this time really is a gift, and it's time for intention setting. And it's a great time to think about what you want for what, reflect on the past, on this last year, and find things you're grateful for. Create a safe space to do this, and just kind of be uninterrupted for a bit. Have something to write your intentions down on, and take some time to do that in the next, like, I know the holidays are here and it's going to be busy the next few days, but after, when it's like, whew, and it's all done, like, I like to at night, like even now when everyone goes to bed, I will just go around and turn off all my little lights that I have up, and I enjoy it. It's quiet, and it's like one of my favorite times of the day. So write your intentions down, let in some light, and remember that your intentions are yours and yours alone. And so it's not for people to judge what you're thinking about or looking toward. If you want to talk it through with a friend, that's great. But a lot of times we just need to reflect. And I think the winter gives us that time to do it in those darker days. There's a song by Blessing Offer. His name is Blessing Offer, and it's called Brighter Days. I encourage you to look it up. But that's the first, it starts out with this line, this stanza. I know there's going to be some brighter days. I swear that love will find you in your pain. I feel it in me like the beating of life in my veins. I know there's going to be some brighter days. And so what I was thinking about with this day is that we do know tomorrow will be a brighter day, because this is the day of the least amount of light, and tomorrow will be a brighter day. And so that's what we're looking for and toward. So really take the time to incorporate your oils that we talked about, and there's so many more. Any oil, you can't go wrong. Remember, first do no harm. They're not going to do harm. They won't do any good if they're just sitting in the bottles. So find ways to incorporate your oils intentionally and help you have brighter days.